This was a live Yoga on Draught class that we did, and I'm just doing a voice recording over top so that it's clear and concise for you. We're going to get started on the mat in a child's pose. So bringing your knees together or wide, whatever feels more comfortable. And before you do so, feel free to check out the Spotify playlist that's attached for this class, and you can hit play on that now. Allowing your big toes to come together to touch, the sit bones sinking down towards your heels, the forehead connected to something, whether it's the earth or a prop, and the hands stretching forward, palms grounded into your mat. Take a deep breath into the back side of the body, feeling into the kidneys, the adrenals, back sides of the lungs. Maybe rocking your forehead from side to side, massaging that space between the brow line. And then let's take a deep breath in here together through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Deep breath in. And full breath out. Last one here. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Now continue that deep full breath in the nose and out the nose with the lips sealed. Starting to create that Darth Vader sound, slight wind tunnel at the back of your throat, Ujjayi breath. From here, we'll move to tabletop pose, all fours, stacking your shoulders over your wrists and your knees underneath your hips. Gently starting to arch the spine, lifting your chest and your gaze as you inhale. And then rounding the back, tucking the chin towards your chest as you exhale. Inhale to arch, finding that hammock shape for the back. And exhale, rounding into the spine, tucking your chin. Continuing a few more movements just like that, moving in any way that feels good, creating that flexion and extension through the spine, flushing out any stagnancy there, and bringing in fresh oxygen, blood, and synovial fluid to support the movement of your spine and back. Keep the breath strong and steady with the movements here. Maybe moving from side to side or starting to barrel roll your chest, adding in or slowing down any little bits. And then coming back to that neutral position, flat back. Press your hands firmer down into the floor and then tuck your toes under. Feel your belly firm and then hover your knees an inch off of the earth. Pressing the hands down into the earth and back towards the feet. They don't move, but the directional change, that shift, is going to create a little bit of shake through the abdomen. Still hugging the inner thighs together here and driving your knees towards the back of your arms. And then press up to downward facing dog. Lift your hips, lengthen through the spine, bending into your knees, shifting the weight from side to side, nodding yes and no with the head to soften the back of your neck. And then starting to walk your hands towards your feet at the back of your mat, finding a forward fold. 2 fist distance equals hip distance with your feet. Letting the hands dangle and the head hang heavy. Take a deep breath in here. And a full breath out. Starting to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, stacking those bones, sliding the shoulder blades down the back. Arriving, head and neck are the last to stack. Tadasana, mountain pose. Reach your hands up and overhead, find a full breath in. And then take your hands to your heart and prayer, breath out. Again, reaching your hands up and overhead, inhale. Hands to prayer in front of the heart, exhale. Reach your hands up and overhead, big breath in. And then interlace your fingers, create 1 fist, reach up towards the ceiling, and then side bend over to the right. Press equal weight through your feet, soften your knees, and breathe into that left lung, that left side waist. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale. Come back to center, reach through the fists, and then side bend to the left, other direction. Rooting down, soft knees. Feeling the belly firm, holding you in place. Take a big breath into that right lung. And a big breath out. Come back up through center, reach overhead, separate the hands, inhale. And then forward fold, hands down towards your feet, round your spine, exhale. Halfway lift, hands slide up your shins, flat back, breath comes in. Forward fold, round the spine, breath out. Again, like that halfway lift, lengthen, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breath comes in. Forward fold, breath out. Walk your hands towards the front of your mat. Find a plank or a kneeling plank. So option to take your knees down for this first set as you need. Otherwise, the hips are in line with the shoulders. Back of the head slightly presses towards the ceiling. Heels are nice and high over the balls of your feet. Root your palms down, corkscrew them into the mat like you're opening up 2 pickle jars. Take a deep breath in here. And a full breath out. Again, inhale. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the earth. Exhale. Untuck your toes. Press all 10 of your toenails down into the ground. Feel the kneecaps lift as you do this. Legs get strong. And then slide your hands wide off your mat onto the floor. Tent up your fingertips and bend your elbows to point the ceiling. Gently start to press the pubic bone down into the earth as you lift your chin, your chest, your shoulders. Cobra pose, inhale. And then soften down, exhale. Again, lift up, heart off the floor, breath in. Soften back down, breath out. Lift, gentle press of the hands. Feel the belly firm. Exhale, soften down. This time, lift up and float your hands off the floor as well. So less work with your arms, more work for the low back, the belly, the sides of the waist. Take a deep breath in. And then soften down, breath out. Slide your hands beside the ribs with bent elbows. Tuck your toes under. Press to that kneeling plank with your inhale. And then to child's pose, hips to your heels as you exhale. Know that you can come back to this pose like a reset button anytime you need, as often as you need. And then let's slowly start to make our way back towards a tabletop position, all fours. Tuck your toes under, fan your fingers, and root your palms down into the mat. Take a breath in and hover your knees an inch off of the earth. See if you can elongate the sides of the waist from armpit to hip. And then lift the sit bones to the back of the mat, downward facing dog. Shake out the head, the neck, the jaw, release any tension. And then let's start to walk the feet towards the front of the mat this time and find a forward fold there. Option to grab the outside of the arms, coming into ragdoll arms. And sway from side to side here, creating a little bit of movement for the spine. And then releasing the hands down, pressing into your feet, and once again rolling up one vertebrae at a time, slowly stacking your bones. The shoulder blades slide down the back as the head and the neck arrives. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Sweep your hands overhead, inhale. And then forward fold, exhale. Find that halfway lift as you breathe in. And forward fold. Place your fingers to the earth, step your right foot to the back of the mat, and lower your back knee down. Support that knee as you need to, and then sweep your hands overhead. Once again, bending into the elbows, grabbing the outsides of the triceps, creating that ragdoll arm. You're going to press your forearms up towards the ceiling, and then side bend to the left. Try to soften the upper shoulders here. Ground your front heel, squeeze your inner thighs, and then breathe deeply into that right lung. And slowly bring yourself back to center, reaching the hands up and overhead with an inhale. And taking your palms to prayer in front of the heart as you exhale. Lean the torso forward, breath in, and then twist to the left. Hook your right elbow outside of your front thigh. Palms are pressing, shoulders are rolling down the back. Option here, tuck your back toes and straighten your back leg. Can you spiral your heart towards your thumb tips, pulling that left hip towards the back of your mat and squeezing your inner thighs? Take a deep breath in, and then release your hands to frame your front foot. Breath goes out. Press your palms into the earth and step back, downward facing dog. Allow the inhale to slide you forward to a plank position, stacking your shoulders on top of your wrists. Always an option to bring the knees down as you need. Pause here. Feel strong, press the earth away, and then lower knees, chest, and chin all the way down. Pressing the tops of your feet once again down into the earth, keeping the hands beside the chest, lift your chin, your shoulders, Cobra pose, and then exhale, soften. Once again, lift the heart up, breath in, soften down, breath out. This time, lift option to take the hands with you, pressing the pubic bone, feeling the front of the abdomen turning on, and then exhale, release. Slide the hands next to your ribs, elbows bent, tuck your toes. Press to kneeling plank with the inhale, and then to downward facing dog as you exhale. Allow a soft bend in your knees here so that there's space for the hamstrings to lengthen. And then press into your palms and send your sit bones closer to the ceiling. Next breath in, sweep your right leg to the sky, strong, straight. And then bend into your right knee, stack and open your hip, fire hydrant pose. Pay attention to the direction of that bottom kneecap. Ensure that it's pointing forward. You can lift that heel as high as you need. Feeling the right side of the waist lengthen. Take a deep breath into your right lung. And a breath out. Straighten that right leg out behind you, three-legged dog, inhale. And then gently step your right foot forward between your hands as you exhale. Bring your hands to the inside of your front foot and then spin your back heel down to seal. So the back foot is parallel with the back of your mat, warrior 2 feet. Heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Press your feet down and towards each other to feel those inner thighs light up. And then walk your hands to the upper left corner of your mat. Think down dog in your chest. Option to have your palms on the floor or tent up onto fingers. And then can you pull your right hip back and face your tailbone towards the back wall? Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. And slowly start to lift your gaze, walking your hands forward, framing that front foot, and then lifting your back heel, coming onto the ball of your left toes. L-shaped pose. Straightening and strengthening that right leg, lifting your left leg high, creating an L from the left toes to the right. Using props underneath your hands as you need to create length in your spine. Feel the low ribs hug in, lengthen through the crown of your head. Taking a deep breath in, and then stepping that foot down beside the other to forward fold, breath out. Find a halfway lift as you inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise up to stand or reach your hands high, Urdhva Hastasana, inhale. Take the hands to prayer in front of the heart, exhale. Sweep your hands up towards the ceiling, breath goes in. Fold, hinge at the hips, hands to the earth, breath goes out. Halfway lift, as you inhale, lengthen spine. And then fold, place your fingers to the mat and step your left foot all the way back. Lower your left knee, pat it as you need to, and then sweep your hands overhead, low lunge. Bending into the elbows, catching the outsides of the forearms, creating that ragdoll shape here. Press the forearms up, and then we'll side bend over to the right this time. Integral through the front of your body. Breathing into that left lung. Take a deep inhale. And a full exhale. Rising back up to center, reach your hands high, breath in. And then bring your palms to prayer in front of the heart, breath out. Lean your weight forward and twist to the right. Hook your left elbow outside of your front thigh. Pressing the palms together, sliding the shoulder blades down the back. Option if you did on the other side, tuck your back toes and straighten your back leg. When I say straighten, there's always a bit of a micro bend. We don't want to hyperextend or lock out the joints. We need buoyancy there. And then can you press through the crown of your head and twist your heart towards your thumb tips? Find a deep breath in. And then release, frame the front foot with your hands, breath out. Step back, downward facing dog. And then settle here. Next, inhale, come towards plank pose. Slide the shoulders over the wrists. And exhale, using the knees as you need, lower all the way to the mat. Cobra pose, tops of the feet press, heart lifts up, big breath in. And then soften down, breath out. Hands beside the ribs, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Pressing especially here through the thumb and the pointer finger. And then either staying in down dog, choosing child's pose, or catching a breath or sip of water as you need. Okay, let's come back to downward facing dog. And then collective exhale to empty. Next breath in, take your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog, strong, straight. And then bend into the knee, stack and open the hip up. Check in with that right grounded foot. Is the knee pointing forward? Can that heel come a little higher? Stretching through the left side waist as you reach those toes over to that right wall. Take a deep breath in. And breath out. Straightening that left leg, pressing through the heel. Inhale. Step that left foot between the hands. Exhale. Finding a warrior two stance in your feet back, heel seals, toes parallel with the back of your mat. Walk your hands towards that upper right corner and let the chest soften down towards the floor. You're going to feel that sensation in the outside of your left hip, but we don't want it to get lazy. Can you pull that hip back and wrap the meat of the glute underneath you? Think tailbone pointing the back of the room. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Gently start to walk your hands forward, framing your front foot once again, lifting the back heel, and we'll find L-shaped pose. As the weight shifts forward, that right leg gets light and lengthens out behind you. Hands can come on to support blocks or props as you need. And then press that grounded foot down into the ground, and can you get lighter through your chest? Take a deep breath in. Step forward, feet together, fold, breath out. Halfway lift as you inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise up, reach overhead. And then hands to prayer at heart center. From here, start to bend into your knees, keeping your hands together in prayer. Chair pose, Utkatasana. letting the weight sink into your heels, squeezing your inner thighs and lengthening through the spine. Think about lifting your chest, pulling the blades of the shoulders back. Think light as a feather here. Deep breath in. Forward fold, breath out. Find that halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plant your fingers to the mat and step your right foot all the way back. This time, high crescent lunge. Rising up, sweeping the hands overhead. It's always an option to bring that back knee down. Modify as you need to. Again, your practice, your time. Keep the back heel high, scissoring the inner thighs together, and then wrap your hands behind you and interlace your fingers. Reach that fist down towards the floor, and at the same time, lift your heart up towards the ceiling. It should feel like a nice opening for the front of the chest and the shoulder heads. Let's reach those hands up next time you breathe in. And then plant your hands down to the floor. Breathe out. Step back to downward facing dog as you inhale, softening those hips with the exhale. Slide forward to a plank position, your breath in, and then lower all the way to your belly. Use the knees as you need to, breath out. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana, lift the heart, option to press into your hands, coming more to that upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog, press your sit bones up and back. Hugging the forearms together, spiraling the eyes of the elbows forward. Let's reach that right leg up nice and high, breath comes in. Right knee to your chest, breath out. Stretch that leg back, inhale. Knee to your chest, exhale. Lengthen that leg, breath comes in. And then step that right foot forward, breath out. Find warrior 2 feet again, seal your back heel and cartwheel your arms, rise up. Left arm behind, right arm out in front. We want a wide enough stance here to feel this in our legs, eventually getting the ankles underneath our wrists. You want heel to heel or heel to arch alignment for the feet. Let's take the right forearm and connect it to the right thigh, coming into side angle pose. Sweep your left arm up and overhead, bicep to ears. Face that top palm down and slide that shoulder blade down the back. Can you lengthen from your right armpit to your right hip? And then just an option, if you like, you can reach that bottom arm forward. It's like you're holding a big beach ball over top of your head. And take a deep breath in and a full breath out. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then rise up to warrior 2 with your breath in, and then reverse your warrior. Right palm reaches up towards the ceiling, back hand connects to back thigh. We'll straighten out our front leg. And enjoying a bit of a stretch, a lengthen through the right front side of the body. Reach, reach, reach your right fingertips to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in here. And full breath out. Windmill your hands down. Rebend that front knee. Lift your back heel. Coming to L shape again. Walking the hands forward. Lifting that back leg. This time you're going to bend into your left knee. Stack and open that hip. So it's like you're a little dog and there's a big fire hydrant. You've got to lift that kneecap up towards the ceiling. Keeping the shoulders square. Find that length for the spine, that lightness in your chest. And begin to stretch that left leg back with a breath in. And then pull the knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around that left shin. And then as slow and controlled as you can, rise up to stand and bring the knee with you. It's okay if you shift and wobble here. Try to fix your gaze on something unmoving ahead. We'll transition to tree pose, Vrikshasana, allowing that left knee to rotate open and connecting the sole of that foot above or below the knee on your right inner thigh. Hands can rest on the hips, prayer, or reach overhead. And the left toes can stay on the earth with the heel pressing that ankle if you need a little extra support. And then option here, wherever you've landed, maybe take some slow blinks through one eye and then the other. Still breathing here, slow deep breaths. And then gently release the leg, release your hands, shake out as you need to. Let's sweep those hands up and overhead, take that big breath in. Hands to prayer in front of the heart, breath out. Chair pose, bending into your knees, pressing the sit bones back, weight into your heels, inner thighs firm. This time we'll sweep the hands forward for an inhale. And then take the hands down and back as you exhale, hips stay low. Reach forward, breath in. Sweep the hands back, breath out. Reach forward, inhale. Sweep as you exhale. Reach forward, big breath in. And then forward fold, release, breath out. Take that halfway lift, lengthen, inhale. Fingers down, step your left foot to the back of the mat. High crescent lunge, once again, rising up, hands overhead. Let's take the hands behind the back, interlacing our fingers, opposite grip, so other pinky on top. And as you reach your fist down, start to lift your heart up towards the ceiling, like you could grow taller with each breath. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Reach those hands overhead. Inhale. Take your hands down to the floor. Plant the palms. Exhale. Step back, downward facing dog. Breath in. Soften the heels, the face. Breath out. Slide to your plank pose with the inhale. Lower with control to your belly as you exhale. Little different this time. Connecting the hands, the palms, interlace the fingers behind your back. Press all 10 toenails into the earth. Half locust pose. Start to lift your chin, your chest, your shoulders up off the ground and stay here, breathing. Gaze at the floor, back of the neck is long, inner thighs hug. Take a deep breath in here. And then release your right cheek to the mat. Unravel your hands beside your hips. You can rock and sway the hips from side to side to release any tension or buildup in the low back here. And just a breath or two to reset. Let's bring the forehead back to center, interlacing the hands once again, taking that opposite grip. We'll start to lift the chin, the chest, the shoulders. This time, option for the feet and the legs to join in on the party. If you're lifting your feet, try to squeeze the big toes towards each other, and then think about growing longer versus higher. And then softly release, left cheek to the mat, hands rest beside the hips. You can rock from side to side. And then bringing your palms back beside you, downward facing dog. Press yourself up. You can bend into one knee and then the other, swaying the hips from side to side, releasing whatever you need. Next inhale, sweep that left heel to the sky. Exhale, pull that knee in towards your chest. Lengthen, breath comes in. Knee to your chest, breath goes out. Long leg, inhale. Step that left foot between your hands, exhale. Warrior two in your feet. Cartwheel your arms to rise, right arm back, left arm forward. Press your feet down into the mat and towards each other to feel the inner thighs activate and light up. And then lower your left forearm to your left thigh, side angle pose, sweeping that right arm overhead, bicep to ears, turning the palm down to face the floor, and hugging that right shoulder blade down the back. Create the longest line possible from your pinky finger to your pinky right toe. And then if you did so on the other side for 2 breaths, reaching that left arm forward, allowing the abdomen to do a little extra work. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale. Hold yourself here, breath in. Stay for the breath out. Warrior two, rise up, inhale, flip that front palm, reach it, reverse warrior. Left arm to the ceiling, right arm to the back thigh, and then straighten your front leg. Feel that nice stretch and open for the front left lung and side of the waist. And as you exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth and lift your back heel. Coming towards L-shaped pose again. Right leg extends out behind you, and this time you'll bend into your right knee and then stack and open that hip. Next breath in, straighten that right leg, that left leg, inhale. And then pull the knee into your chest as you exhale. Right knee comes with you into the chest as you rise up, coming towards that standing position. And then fixing your gaze on something, be it a spot on the floor or the wall in front of you. Start to turn your knee out wide, tree pose, other side. Connect the inner line, the bottom of your right foot, to the left inner thigh. Hands to hips, prayer, or reaching overhead. And if you want to play with this a little bit, this time, taking slow blinks through both eyes at the same time. Pointing that right knee forward as you take the next breath in, and then step that foot down, hands down, breath out. Reach those hands up and overhead. Inhale. Forward fold, hinge at the hips as you exhale. Find a halfway lift, flat back. Breath comes in. And then take your hands onto either the floor or the blocks. Keep your spine long and straight. And then slowly reach that right leg back out behind you. Right hand is going to connect onto that right hip, creating less points of contact on the earth, relying on those 2 points, pressing them down. Gently start to rotate your spine to the right wall, stacking that right hip on top of the left. Halfmoon pose. Ardha Chandrasana. Option for your right arm to reach up towards the ceiling, or take any variation here that serves you. Soften the face, steady the breath. Take a deep inhale. Forward fold, front of the mat, exhale. Let's take that halfway lift as you breathe in. Flutter out the lips as you breathe out. Again, inhale halfway. Flutter. Halfway lift, breath in. Last time, flutter. Good. Let's lengthen the spine once again, taking your hands either onto props or to the earth, lengthening through the spine and kicking that left leg out behind you, L-shaped pose. And gently lifting your left hand to your left hip and rotating the heart to face the left wall. That hip will stack on top of the right and then kick through the limbs, toes, arms, crown of your head, grow long. Take a deep breath in here. And then release, forward fold, breath out. Options for you, you can just hang out here in a fold or take some halfway lifts, movement or stillness, whatever your body's calling for. And then taking your feet wide as your mat, turn your toes out, heels in, start to bend into your knees, coming down towards Malasana Yogi Squat. Palms can come together at prayer, lengthen your spine here. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. Take your hands behind you, come to sit on your bum, keeping your knees bent, soles of feet connected to the earth. Feet can come slightly wider, and then rock your hips from side to side, windshield washing through the knees. And then bring your legs back to center, feet are hip width and planted. Your hands, palms are rooted behind you with the fingertips facing the sit bones. Reverse tabletop. Press into your feet and hands and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Chin stays tucked towards the chest. Exhale, lower the hips down. Breathe in and lift your hips up. And exhale, lower down. Lift the hips up and we'll stay here. Nice opening for the front of the shoulder heads, the collarbones. Pressing into your feet, using the strength of your thighs. Take a deep inhale. Lower the hips down as you exhale. Straighten through your front legs and fold your heart forward. Soft bend in the knees, feet flex towards the face. Just a nice rounding for the spine. And you're slowly going to start to roll your way up to a flat back, and then keeping your heels pressing the earth, lay all the way down. Landing onto your back here, bringing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a nice little squeeze, rocking from side to side, lengthening through the low back. And then happy baby pose. Taking your knees wide, soles of feet up towards the ceiling. Catch a hold of the outside edge of your shins, your ankles, your feet. You can rock a little from side to side, softening the shoulders and the tail down to the earth. Taking a deep breath in here and a full breath out. Gently releasing the legs. Shavasana, corpse pose, our final posture. Letting the feet flop out, hands wide of the hips. Inhale through your nose. And exhale. Allow yourself a few moments here in stillness, and I'll call you back when it's time. allowing yourself to stay here on your back for a little longer if you have time. Otherwise, you're going to start to move into the fingers and the toes. And start to reach overhead, and taking that big stretch, opening the jaw. And then hugging your knees up into your chest one at a time. Giving yourself a little squeeze. And then rolling onto your left or your right side, whatever's calling for you today. And pressing your way up into a seat. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart in prayer as you land. Bowing your chin in towards your chest. A moment of gratitude for yourself, for your body, for your practice. Thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste.